And William Rowe got the tip. And it's going to be Sullivan with the ball now. Passes it over to Hale. Hale driving in, goes up strong. No good. Rebound. Goes out of bounds. Ball's going to stay with the Rams as O'Regan and Lewis were diving for the ball. It's going to be Jacovitas to inbound. Into Rowe, over to Sullivan, to Hale. And he gets the pass off. Rowe shoots, no good. Rebound, Cunningham, and he's going to take it up the floor. Oh, with the little shimmy up strong. And one. Cunningham there going coast to coast. And it's nice to see that as Cunningham got hurt very early in the first game last year. Foul's going to be on number 25, Alex Jacovitas. And Cunningham a little strong on the free throw. As Sullivan takes it up. Over to Molson. To Jacovitas, spinning around. Hale with it, over to Rowe. To Molson driving in. And he's going to take the bump and finish. As it's 2-2. O'Regan with the pump fake, driving in. Dish it over to Morrow. Morrow backing him down, goes up strong, and makes it. It's going to be Rowe with it at the free throw line. Backing down Morrow, goes for a turnaround little post hook, no good. Rebound Morrow. Dishes it to Lewis. As Lewis takes it up the floor. Calls over Andrews. Andrews over to Cunningham. Over to O'Regan. Trying to get it down to Morrow. And he does. Morrow back to O'Regan's going to step into a shot. And good. This is going to take the Bison up 7-2. Sullivan guarded by Lewis. Over to Molson. Down to Rowe. Trying to find a cutting Hale, but kicks out to Molson. And he responds to the three with one of his own. Lewis pushing up to Cunningham. Cunningham doing a little spin. It's going to go up. And good. Cunningham just using his size to his advantage here. Sullivan with it. Using the screen, going around. Going in strong out to Jacovitas, who pops it from the corner. No good, and Morrow with the rebound. Hands it off to Lewis, and Lewis pushes up to Cunningham. Cunningham backing him down, passes it back to Lewis. He's calling for it back. Sets the screen for Lewis. Lewis going in strong. Goes for the pass and is stolen by Sullivan. Kicks it out to Jacovitas, who's going down. And O'Regan played good D, but Jacovitas was able to finish through the contact. This is freshman Andrews taking it up the court. Uses the screen for Morrow. Pass it to Morrow. Morrow in. And makes it. Morrow's very good at that little floater from down low. As the Bison lead 11-7. Over to Molson. Over to Hale, who's wide open. And makes it. Andrews coming back the other way. As it's now 11-7 Bison. Over to Lewis. Passes to Cunningham. Hands it off to Lewis. Driving in. And nice finish as he was able to use a little bit of a Euro there to get through. Sullivan coming up. Over to Jacovitas, who's guarded by O'Regan. Down to, Rowe. Over to Jacovitas. Uses the screen. Down low to Rowe, who's covered by Morrow. He's going to back him down. And this is out to Sullivan, who fakes, comes in, and gets the basket. Lewis now going the other way. Uses the screen from Morrow. Finds him open. He dribbles in. Kicks it out to O'Regan, who's open. Takes a three. And the catch and shoot is good. O'Regan 2 for 2 from three to start. As Sullivan takes it up, guarded by Lewis. Uses the screen from Rowe. Lewis stays on him. Dishes out to Jacovitas, who shoots over O'Regan, and just short off the front iron. Rebound by Cunningham. Cunningham takes it up the other way and is driving through. And, oh, he almost gets the and one, but draws the foul. Cunningham getting involved early with dribbling in. Getting the ball at the three-point line and taking advantage of his height as Suffolk has William Rowe guarding Morrow. So a smaller guy on Cunningham. And he's going to be good on the first. It's going to be some subs here coming in for the Bison. Will be number 11, Jack Cohen, and number 10, Matt Lasalandra. They'll be replacing Elijah Lewis and Jason O'Regan. Cunningham good on the second. Subs for the Rams coming in will be number 22, Jason Mahoney, and number 12, John Gates. Into Mahoney, out to Gates, over to Hale, who's working on Cohen. Good defense. Morrow guarding Gates there, back to Hale. And good defense by Cunningham as the shots miss. Rebound by Andrews going up the other way, pushing the tempo. And they're going to call a charge. As it looks like number 12, was that no? Yes, number 12 Gates was able to set his feet and draw the charge. It's going to be Rams ball, 18-12 Bison up with 15 minutes left in the half. It's going to be Sullivan taking it up. Working on Andrews. Uses the screen from Gates, kicks it to Gates. Pump fakes, runs in, dishes it out to Molson, who draws the foul but is not able to convert. He will be going to the line for 2. Foul is going to be on number 10, Matt Lasalandra, the freshman from Smithfield, Rhode Island. Molson to the line, who was a 77.5% free throw shooter last year. Misses the first. And misses the second. Rebound by Morrow. Passes to Andrews as Andrews takes it up the court. Hand off to Lasalandra, pulls up from the free throw line. No good. Rebound by number 12, John Gates. It's going to be Molson pushing the tempo as Cowan was a little late to get back, and Gates is going to, or sorry, Mahoney, that is going to finish. It's going to be Andrews with it, over to Cunningham, down low to Morrow, and he's able to convert over 2 smaller defenders. It's going to be Sullivan taking it back. Working on Andrews, uses the screen, driving in, kicks it out to Mahoney, over to Molson, over to Hale. Hale shooting over Cowan. No good, short. Lasalandra with the rebound. He's going to take it up, looking around for some help. Passes to Cunningham, who's working on Molson. Dribbles in and makes it off a nice spin. Makes it from maybe a step or 2 in from the free throw line, as that pushes the lead to 22-14. Sullivan with the ball. Over to Molson. Down to Mahoney. Over to Gates. Gates pulls it. And it's good. And it looks like it's going to be a timeout by Suffolk, with the Bison up 22-17 with 13:31 left in the half. We will be back after this timeout break. Coming out of the timeout, the Suffolk Rams made a switch as number 11 Connor Crean has checked in. And for the Bison, number 5 Jojo Capali has checked in. And Los Alejandro gets it to O'Regan, open in three-point range. And, oh, it rolls out as Mahoney gets the rebound. Over to Molson, who takes it the other way. Working on Los Alejandro. Passes over to Sullivan, over to Gates, over to Mahoney, who pump fakes. Driving in, kicks it out to Crean, and that's Molson with the three-pointer. No good. Rebound Capali, pass to Andrews, and pushing it the other way fast. Over to O'Regan. Down to Los Alejandro, using the screen from O'Regan over to Cowan, who's working on Sullivan. Hand off to Andrews, to Capali, hand off to Cowan from 3. A little strong. Rebound number 32, Molson for the Rams, going the other way. And pass stolen by Andrews, reads it perfectly, going, and gets the easy lay-in. As the Bison now lead 24-17 with 12:25 left in the half. Molson working on Los Alejandro, down to Mahoney. Back to Molson. Finds a cutting Gates open, shoots over Cowan. No good. Rebound Capali. Pass to Andrews. Up to O'Regan. Looking for someone to pass it to. Finds Capali. Over to Los Alejandro. Uses the screen from Capali. Finds Capali cutting low. Who's able to go up with it. Is fouled and will go to the line for 2. Capali last year, 8 of 14 at the line, which comes out to 57%. As the first is a little strong off the back iron. And it's number 20, Elijah Lewis, checking in for Andrews. For the Bison and for the Rams, Molson's going to get a break here, and checking in for him was, let's see, Capali got in the second, and it's Rowe checking in for Molson. Sullivan coming back. Working on Lewis, going to use the screen from Rowe, passes it over to Crean, back to Sullivan, over to Gates, to Mahoney, back to Crean, over to Sullivan, over to Gates. Gates takes it over Cohen. Gets fouled on the 3 as Cohen didn't give him a chance to land. He'll be going to the line for 3.
Nichols foul, assist number 10, Rick Love, Jack Cowan. This first, team third.
It's going to be a 3rd team foul here. Gates is good on the first. Gates good on the second. And Gates good on the third, but there's a violation for going over the line. As the score is 25-19, Lewis taking it up court. Driving in hard, goes up with it, and makes it. As Rowe was there trying to block that shot. Sullivan taking it up. Uses screen, doubled over to Rowe, dribbling in, working on Capali, out to Sullivan. Crean with it, driving in on, working on Los Alejandro. No good. Rebound, Los Alejandro, as the Bison are in transition. Over to Lewis. Out to Regan, to Los Alejandro. Going up with it, and no good. Tipped out by Lewis, but the rebound still goes to Sullivan. Over to Crean. Pump fakes out to Mahoney, who takes the 3 over O'Regan, and it rolls in as the lead is cut down to 5. Lewis with the ball. Lewis directing traffic over here as he uses the screen from Capali. Kicks out to Lasalandra, who dribbles in. Over to Capali, who's working on a smaller man. And he's going to get called for the charge as he barreled over Sullivan, who's only 5'10". Got some subs here as for the Rams, number 3, Hales checked back in. And for the Bison, number 14, Junior Uga has checked in. Mahoney with it to Rowe at the free throw line. Over to Hale. Back to Rowe. Over to Gates. Back to Hale. Working on Lasalandra, dribbling in. And they're going to get Lasalandra for the reach there. As Gates is going to inbound it out to Rowe by the 3-point line. Sullivan gets to Gates. Gates takes a shot. No good. Lewis with the rebound, pushing it the other way. Up to looking for Rondell there, and the pass was deflected. During that little confusion there, the Bison were able to sub in Rondell, number 12, and number 34, Matt Morrow. Uga to inbound. Finds Lewis, who is working on Gates. Uses the screen from O'Regan. O'Regan finds Rondell. Trying to get it down low to Morrow, and he does. Morrow working on Rowe. And his little hook no good as we have a timeout because a mask was lost. And for the Rams, number 24, Ismail Fofana is checked in. Hale with the ball, working on Uga. Dribbling in, Uga playing good defense. Over to Rowe, guarded by Morrow. Going up and makes it through the contact as it is now 27-24 Bison. Lewis dribbling. Over, pass it to Morrow. Morrow back to Lewis. Lewis using the screen. Finds O'Regan to Tyson. Over to Junior. Uga finds O'Regan down low. Gets doubled. Still goes up with it. And no good. Rebound to number 12. Gates over to Sullivan. Sullivan dribbling in. Hand off to Hale. Back to Sullivan. Open in the corner for 3. No good. Rebound O'Regan. Lewis coming up the court. Bison could really use a good possession here on offense. Lewis directing traffic pass to Morrow. No look pass to Rondell, and the layup is good. Nice no look pass there by Morrow to set up his teammate with an easy layup. Lewis over to Fofana. Fofana working on O'Regan. Over to Hale. Hale using the screen from Rowe, stopping just in front of the free throw line with a little fadeaway, and good. Lewis going back the other way. Bounce pass to Morrow. Morrow giving it to Uga. Uga pump fake, dribbling around. Trying to, oh, he takes the mid-range jumper, and good. Sullivan taking it the other way. Over to Hale. Hale pass to Rowe at the free throw line. Finds a cutting Gates who's open. Back to Rowe. A step in from the 3-point line. Shot up, too strong. Rebound Lewis going the other way. So he crosses half court, looking for Morrow down low. Gets to Morrow, but Morrow couldn't hang on to the pass. Turnover by the Bison. Hale taking it the other way. Working on Lewis. Finds Sullivan. Sullivan calling for the screen. Uses the screen from Rowe. Rondell gets around nicely. And the foul is going to be on number 12, Rondell Tyson, as they call the block. And we're going to get another timeout by the Suffolk Rams. It's definitely weird being back here watching basketball without our fans. It's very quiet. Players on the Bison usually feed off of the energy in this gym. So it's definitely a little strange. I'm sure they're missing it, but we're just glad to have some form of sports back on campus. As we're going to take a quick break for the duration of this timeout. We'll be right back. Coming out of the timeout for the Bison, on the floor will be number 1, Andrews, number 13, Cunningham, number 14, Uga, number 34, Morrow, and number 12, Tyson. For the Rams, it will be number 1, Sullivan, number 12, Gates, number 3, Hale, number 32, Molson, and number 25, Jacovitas, who gets the inbound pass over to Sullivan, guarded by Andrews. Pass to Hale, guarded by Tyson. Jacovitas, pump fakes, dribbles in, goes for a little floater. No good. Rebound is going to be tipped out by Tyson, they say, as it was between Rondell and Molson. It's going to be Hale to inbound, finds Gates. Over to Sullivan, finds Hale. Back to Gates, guarded by Morrow. Dish to the corner to Molson, guarded by Cunningham. It's going to go up with the little turnaround, no good. Rebound, Cunningham, fouled by number 12, Gates, as he gets called for the reach.
Fouls on Suffolk University, number 32, Brennan Molson. His first, team foul.
Sorry about that. Looks like the foul was given to number 32, Molson. It's going to be Andrews taking it up, working on Hale. Dishes it back to Cunningham, who's guarded by Molson. Almost, and he does turn it over. Uga coming back to play defense. Doesn't commit the foul, but easy layup for Molson, as it is 31-28 Bison. It's going to be Tyson with it. Calling Andrews to come get the pass, but instead passes to Cunningham. Handoff to Tyson, who uses the screen. Dishes to Morrow, over to Cunningham, and the layup is good. Ball movement key there for that possession, as Morrow shows he's a very good passer from down low. It's going to be Molson with it, working on Cunningham, over to Jacovitas, guarded by Morrow. Over to Gates, back to Jacovitas. He's going to dribble in. Uga with the great defense, gets the steal. And he's going to go take it the other way, finds the pass is deflected, and ball taken by Hale. Hale working on Uga, over to Jacovitas, pops a 3 over Morrow. No good off the left iron, rebound Uga. Taking up the court. Junior passes it to Cunningham, down low to Morrow. And the shot was no good, finds Andrews in the corner. Pump fakes, goes up, stops before the charge. Cunningham with the rebound, and he makes it. As the Suffolk bench thought Morrow was out of bounds after his first shot. Nonetheless, it's 35-28 Bison. Molson with the ball, over to Sullivan, guarded by Andrews. To Jacovitas, over to Gates, uses the screen from Jacovitas. Back to Jacovitas, takes it for 3. Over Morrow, no good, rebound Andrews. He's going to pass it up to Junior. Passes it to Tyson, open in the corner for 3. Just a tad strong as he follows his rebound, or his shot, and it's going to be a rebound by Sullivan. Going the other way over to Hale, open for 3 in the corner. And that is good, as it's going to be 35-31. Bison. It's going to be Andrews with it. Passes it to Cunningham. Cunningham working on Molson, kicks it over to Tyson, who's working on Sullivan. Gets it back to Cunningham. Over to Uga in the corner. Trying to get it to Morrow, and he does. Morrow going down low. Goes up with it, no good. Gets the rebound, looking for the foul. And he's not going to get one, as Sullivan is driving up the court. Over to Molson for 3, and that is good. And just like that, the Bison lead is down to 1 as Andrews takes it up. Andrews for 3, and it is short as it is Jakovitis with the rebound. Over to Hale, guarded closely by Andrews, over to Sullivan. Over to Jakovitis, working on Cunningham. Takes a 3 with Cunningham in his face, and no good as Uga with the rebound. He's going to use the screen from Morrow. No, he's not. He's going to go the other way. Goes up with it, and no good as the shot was strong. And there's going to be a foul on Jakovitis before the putback effort by Uga. So the foul's going to be on the floor. Some subs for the Bison. Coming out of the game will be number 12, Tyson, 14, Uga. And coming in will be number 22, O'Regan, and 10, Los Alandra. Rams with a couple of substitutions as well. Or just one, as number 22, Mahoney, is checked back in, who's working on Morrow. Morrow to O'Regan. O'Regan working on Gates. Over to Los Alandra, who's working on Sullivan. Uses the screen from O'Regan. Gives it to Morrow. Down to O'Regan, who's working on a much smaller Sullivan, whose first shot was no good, and putback also no good. Rebound by Mahoney out to Sullivan as Sullivan is pushing it up the court. And he's just going to pull it back out, dish it out to Hale, who's working on O'Regan. Pass Sullivan, pass to Molson, who gets Cunningham to bite. And he's going to make the layup as the Rams now take a 36-35 lead with 2:58 left in this half. Cunningham with it. Pulls the 3. And the shot does not count as there's a foul on Mahoney ahead of time as he was using too much hands down there, pushing Morrow as Morrow was trying to get some position. The foul is going to be on the floor as Andrews looks like is going to inbound. Andrews finds Cunningham up in the top. He's going to pass it to O'Regan, over to Andrews. He's going to use the screen from O'Regan. Back to Cunningham. Fakes the handoff to Leandra. Finds Morrow as Mahoney was not looking as the pass went right over his head, and Morrow puts it in. It's going to be Sullivan now with 2:30 left in this half. Los Leandra playing good defense. Gets around the screen. Stays with Sullivan. Gates in the corner now. Gates tried to pass it back to Hale, and Andrews able to poke it out of bounds. It's going to be an inbound by Hale as the ball stays with the Rams. It's going to find Mahoney. Gives it over to Sullivan. Finds Molson open for 3. And it's going to go in and out as Cunningham gets the rebound and takes it up the court. And it looks like he's going to try to go coast to coast. No, he dishes out to Los Alandra. 3-2 strong. Rebound Morrow. Rusts the shot, and it's no good as the Rams were able to get the rebound. And it's Molson taking it up. Working on Andrews. And, wow, they're going to call Andrews for the reach on that one. Or a slap, as the ref's motioning. It's going to be Molson at the line. Molson last season was a 78% shooter, but no good on the first. Rebound by Cunningham. Finds Andrews, who's working on Hale. Passes it to Morrow. Passes it back to Andrews. To O'Regan. O'Regan back to Andrews. Over to O'Regan. Over to Cunningham, who's going to go and spin around. And looks like the ball got stolen before he got the shot attempt off as Sullivan goes the other way, working on O'Regan. And it's going to be a foul on O'Regan. Sullivan to the line for 2. Sullivan last year only had 5 attempts from the line, but only made 2 of 5. He's going to make the first here. As Lewis checks back in for the Bison, giving Los Alandra a break. And Rowe checking in for the Rams, giving Mahoney a quick break. Sullivan's going to be good on the second. Bison trail 37-38 with 1:25 left as Lewis takes it up the court. Over to Cunningham, over to Andrews. Finds O'Regan, over to Lewis. He's going to use the screen from Cunningham, takes the three, and it's good. Sullivan taking it up, working on Lewis. Molson over to Rowe at the free throw line, kicks it out to Gates. Gates kicks it to Hale, who's working on Andrews. Andrews playing good defense, gets some help, but the layup is still good. Andrews taking it up the floor now. Over to Cunningham. Cunningham fakes the handoff. Working on Molson. Almost turns it over, finds O'Regan. O'Regan's going to pull it with a man close in his face, and it's going to be strong, no good. Rebound Rowe. Sullivan taking up the court now. Over to Hale as the game is tied 40-40 with 25 seconds left in the half. Sullivan with it. Over to Molson. Back to Sullivan, guarded by Lewis. Over to Hale. Back to Sullivan, as it looks like they're going to wait to take the last shot here as the shot clock and game clock are only separated by 2 seconds. Sullivan over to Hale, open. Pump fakes over to Gage. He's going to take the three, and it is good. And that is going to take us to halftime as the Rams now lead 43-40. Welcome back. Ismail here with 30 seconds before we start the second half. I'm joined on the second half by Andy. Some stats from the first half. Obviously, the score is 43-40 in favor of the Rams. The leading scorer for the Bison was Cunningham, who was 5 of 5 for 12 points. The leading scorer for the Rams was Brendan Molson, who was 5 of 8 for 12 points as well. The Rams are shooting 41% from 3, while the Bison are only shooting 33% from 3. One thing the Bison can do to try to help this offense keep going is utilize the size of our big men. Matt Morrow and Jerome Cunningham are both 6'8", while Suffolk only has one player over 6'4". You know, get the ball down low to Matt and Jerome while they're down there posted up and let them go to work down there. But we'll see what the Bison decide to do here to start the second half on offense, as Jerome's going to inbound to Lewis as all the starters are back on the court. Pass to Morrow. And he's going to find O'Regan. He's going to find Lewis. Gets it down low to Morrow. And pass was tipped and stolen as Sullivan comes back the other way. Guarded by Lewis. Finds a cutting Jacobitas, who gets stuffed by Cunningham. Gets his own rebound. This is over to Molson, who's working on Andrews. Back to Jacobitas, over to Hale, guarded by Cunningham. Gets some room, dishes it to Rowe. And Rowe's able to finish at the rim to give the Rams a 5-point lead. Lewis coming up as he passes to Morrow. Almost stolen by Hale, but he was able to get it. Andrews really wanted the ball. Morrow takes it, goes to work down low, and scores the basket down low. As they seem to be focused on getting the ball down low, just like we had mentioned beforehand. Sullivan with the dishes to Molson. To the free throw line where Rowe is, over to Hale, who's going in. And no good as Morrow and Andrews were there to contest the shot. Morrow with the rebound, Andrews taking up the court. Andrews dishes it out, and it is stolen by Molson, and he's going to have an easy layup on the other. Oh, and he misses the easy layup. And he gets his own rebound because no one went back to play defense. And it's going to be a timeout by Nichols with 18:29 left here in the second half. going to be 47-45. The Suffolk Rams on top. And that just was not a good hustle play on the part of any of the Bison, but still plenty of time in the second half. 5 points is not that much, as we've seen greater comebacks by the Bison in the past few seasons.
Seems like they're just all too eager to give up the ball right now.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I think the biggest spark plug they can have is getting the ball down low to Cunningham, as he had 12 points in the first half, was perfect from the field. Just get him down low, give him the ball, let him go to work on the smaller guy, as they seem to be putting Molson on him, who's 6'4", and putting the 6'8" Rowe on Morrow. As the timeout should be over. And coming onto the court for the Rams is going to be the same lineup, keeping their starters in. So Sullivan, Jacovitas, Molson, Rowe, and Hale. And same thing for the Bison, keeping Cunningham, Lewis, Andrews, Morrow, and O'Regan in. It's going to be Cunningham to inbound it and Lewis to receive the inbound. Lewis over to Cunningham, over to Andrews. Gets it to Morrow down low. Pass is deflected by Rowe. And the ball's going to stay with the Bison. It's going to be Andrews to inbound, it looks like. And he's going to get it into Cunningham, who gets it just before half court. Hands it off. Nope. He gives it to Andrews. Uses the screen. Andrews pulls it up and makes it. Sullivan to take it the other way. Guarded closely by Lewis. Over to Jacovitas, guarded by O'Regan. To the free throw line where Rowe is. Finds a cutting Hale, who gets the layup. And Lewis takes it back for the Bison. He's going to get it to Morrow. Morrow's going to fake the handoff, go in. Out to Cunningham at three-point line. Back down to Morrow. He's going to go up with the right. No good. Rebound by Jacovitas. Outlet pass to Hale, who throws it back across court to Sullivan. Back to Hale. Over to Molson, who's open at three-point range. Drives in. Handoff to... Pass to Rowe was fouled by O'Regan. Shot did not go in. So he's going to go to the line for two. As the Rams lead 49-44. It's going to be O'Regan's second foul of the game. And it's going to send Rowe to the free throw line. Rowe last season, 81% from the free throw line, as he is good on the first. Subbing in for the Bison will be number 5, Capali, and number 10, Lasalandra, as Lewis and Morrow will get a break. No substitutions for the Rams. The second attempt by Rowe was good as he goes 2 for 2 from the line, extending the lead to 7 points. Andrews with it. Over to Lasalandra. Gives it to Cunningham. Back to Lasalandra. Pump fakes. Goes in. He's going to go for the layup. Gets blocked from behind. Rebound by Rowe. Outlet to Molson. Molson going to use the screen from Rowe. Pass it over to Hale. Trying to get it down low to Rowe. He's going to dribble in. Outlet to Molson. Over to Sullivan, who cuts in between defenders. Hands off to Rowe. And no good, as Cunningham was able to force the miss. Andrews the other way. As the Rams showed great ball movement there, but weren't able to capitalize on it. Out to O'Regan, who's going to go down the lane. Over to Capali, who couldn't hang on to the pass. Sullivan going the other way. Over to Hale, who's going to step into a three, pull it, and no good. The foul is going to be on Suffolk, to be number 32, Molson, as the Bison will get the ball. O'Regan to inbound to Lewis, who checked back in for Cunningham. Capali gets the ball, looking for Andrews. Can't find him, hands off to Lewis. Instead, he's going to pull it from 3. And off the front iron, no good. Rebound by Jacovitas. Hand off to Hale, back to Lewis. Sullivan, sorry. Gives it to Molson, driving in. And is able to finish over Los Alandra, as the lead's now 53-44. And Lewis goes up with it and is blocked by Molson, but they say it's a foul. Molson's not happy with the call, but the official says he slid into Lewis there, as Lewis would go to the line for 2. The first is no good as it bounces off the back of the iron. And the second's no good as it bounces off the front iron. It's going to be Hale taking the other way. Goes right by Los Alandra, and his layup is good as the lead's extended to double digits here. Andrews pushing it up court and is able to draw the foul on number 1, Aiden Sullivan. It's going to be his first. Checking into the game for the Rams will be number 12, Gates, as number 32, Molson, will get a break. It's going to be Los Alandra to inbound. 15:48 left in the half. He's going to find Lewis, who's guarded by Gates. He's going to use the screen from Capali going in. Puts up a wild shot, and no good as Jacovitas gets the rebound, goes the other way. Sullivan gets it. He's directing traffic, calling for the screen from Mahoney. He's going to get it. Los Alandra does the switch. Jacovitas on O'Regan. Pulls up from mid-range. No good. O'Regan with the rebound. Kicks it to Andrews, and back the other way we go. Andrews over to O'Regan, who called for it. Pump fakes. Goes in. Puts up a floater and makes it. Looking for the and one, but nice move there to get the defender off his feet and get the nice floater. It's going to be Hale with it. Working on Andrews. Over to Jacovitas, over to Gates, back to Jacovitas as the Nichols bench is getting into it. Hale within the corner, over Andrews, no good. Rebound out, Mahoney steps into a 3, and no good as well as that ball goes out of bounds. Bison ball. Checking into the game for the Bison will be number 34, Matt Morrow, giving number 5, Capali, a break. It's going to be O'Regan to inbound to Lewis. Pass to Andrews. Over to O'Regan. Over to Los Alandra. Down low to Morrow in his position. And there it is. The shot Morrow has mastered and has used in his previous 3 seasons here as the lead's cut down to 7. Hale with the ball to the free throw line to Mahoney. Over to Hale. Pulls up from 3. And it's no good as it's off the front iron. Rebound O'Regan over to Lewis, taking it up the other way. To O'Regan. Back to Lewis. Finds Morrow cutting. Morrow got hit, and it was a very late call, but the call was made. The foul's going to be on, sounds like number 22, Mahoney. It's going to be Andrews to inbound. The ball will stay with the Bison. Throws it over the top to Morrow, who gives it to Lewis. Over to Andrews. Back to Morrow, posting up Mahoney. Going to work, gets doubled. Able to throw it out to Los Alandra, who went for the nice finish but missed it. Morrow scoops it up and puts it back in. As now it's a 5-point game. Sullivan taking up, guarded by Lewis the whole way. Blows by him. Over to Jacovitas in the corner. Shot is good. Going to be Andrews taking it up, down 8 with 13:40 left. Working on Hale, finds Lewis, over to O'Regan, to the corner of Los Alandra. Jab steps and walks, goes around, throws it to Lewis. Gives it to O'Regan, calling for it. Finds a cutting Los Alandra for a beautiful pass, and that's going to cut the lead down to 6. As both benches are starting to get a little energy. Jacovitas almost loses it, gives it to Sullivan. Lewis on him, tries to poke it free. Sullivan goes by him, finds Jacoby open, gets by O'Regan, and got help from Morrow. And Morrow gets the rebound on the miss. Over to O'Regan, up to Andrews, over to Lewis, back to O'Regan, wide open for three. No good, rebound, Andrews. Over to Matt Morrow, who fakes the three, goes in, gets the contact. And they're going to say no, contact was on the floor, not on the shot as he got shoved. Oh, never mind, it was on the, I thought it was on the shot. But the judge on the baseline looked like he said no shot. It's going to be Morrow to the line, 4-2. And he's going to make the first. As checking in for the Bison will be Jack Cohen, who will be replacing Andrews, and Jerome Cunningham coming in for O'Regan. In for the Rams will be number 24, Ismail Fofana, and 31, William Rowe. And Matt Moore goes 2 for 2, making it a 4-point game. Sullivan with it, guarded the whole way by Lewis. Lewis all over him. Sullivan over to Rowe. Morrow on him. And Rowe dishes out to Fofana. Back down to Rowe. Morrow down there all over him. Out to Fofana, who dribbles in, takes a shot off the backboard, and it is in. It's going to be Lewis. Uses the screen from Morrow. Goes the other way using the screen from Morrow. Finds Cohen in the corner, who's going to pull it with the defender in his face and still makes it. Great shot by Cohen to make it a one-possession game. Hale takes it from way down and responds with a three of his own as he is pumped. It's going to be a quick timeout. 63-57, Bison trail. 11:58 left. Doing a little bit better on offense now as they're starting to find their rhythm.
They're beginning to take advantage of the height difference finally.
Absolutely. Even if Morrow, especially Morrow, he has great vision from down low. Even if he doesn't take the shot, he's getting doubled every time. He can find the open man and then proceed on from offense from there.
Absolutely.
Going to take a quick timeout break, and we'll be right back. Coming out of this timeout for the Bison, it's going to be the same five on the court, and it looks like the same five for the Rams as well. It's going to be Cunningham to inbound to Lewis. 11:58 left in this game. Lewis driving in on Gates, goes up with it and makes it. A strong take there by Lewis. It's going to be Sullivan coming the other way, guarded by Cohen. Hale open for three, and it's good as he is heating up from downtown. Lewis taking it, working on Gates again, uses the screen from Morrow, takes the three, and responds to the three with one of his own. As Sullivan takes it, let's see if they give it back to Hale. Going to use the screen from Rowe, but Cohen was all over him. It's going to be Gates, no good. Fofana gets the rebound, working on Cunningham. Over to Rowe, working on Morrow. Morrow playing good defense there. Fofana going in with the trees and gets stopped. and Cohen's going to travel. Sub for the Bison. Los Alandra's going to get a break as Uga checks in. Molson checks back into the game for the Rams, giving Ismail Fofana a break. Sullivan working on Cohen. Goes the other way of the screen. Uses the screen now. Cowan goes under. And they're going to call Cowan for the block. It's going to be a second foul. I believe I heard third team foul. We're giving, looks like Jojo Capali is going to check in for Morrow as Gates to inbound. Finds Sullivan, who's guarded by Cowan. Cowan, Molson with it, working on Capali. Gives it to Rowe, handoff to Molson. Over to Hale, who pump fake, steps in. Gets it to Gates. Gates across, stolen by Cowan, going the other way. Gets it to Junior Uga, who goes in. And it's a block foul and one as it is 66-64 and Uga to the line. Great find there by Cowan, going through all those hands to make that pass. Uga to the line with a chance to make this a 1-point game. Checking in for the Rams will be 25 Jacovitas as Rowe will come out. And Uga tried to use the backboard there, as that is no good. Rams up 2. Jacovitas with it, working on Cunningham. Over to Molson, and Capali hits it, and good defense by Capali. Molson's able to save it. Molson driving in. Goes up, and it's good. Got it over Cunningham, up to Lewis. Lewis is running, gets it to Uga, open. Takes the three from the corner. And good! As it bounced high and goes through. 67-68, the Rams up 1. 9:50 left in this game. Sullivan with it. Uses the screen. Over to Jacovitas, working on Cunningham. It's going to give it to Molson, who takes the three. No good. Rebound, Lewis. Pushing it back the other way. Working on Gates. Drives in, absorbs the contact, and finishes as the Bison regain the lead, 69-68. Sullivan with it. Gives it over to Hale. Jacovitas back to Hale. Fakes the other way, driving in. And the shot is good. Lewis with it. Pushing the tempo. Over to Junior Ugo, who's dribbling. Back to Lewis. Uses the screen from Capali. No, he doesn't. Takes the three. And good. And he is pumped. And the Bison are feeling it, as it is 72-70 Bison lead. Timeout for the Bison with 8:57. Lewis has been a spark plug in the last few minutes as he is playing with a lot of energy.
Completely foreign from the first half team, it looks like.
That is for sure. They are playing much better defense, tipping passes, intercepting a few, and pushing the pace on offense. We're going to take a timeout break, and we'll be right back. Coming out of this timeout, the Bison will have Cunningham, Uga, Capali, Lewis, and Tyson on the court. The Rams are going to go with Sullivan, Molson, Jacovitas, Gates, and Mahoney. It's going to be Molson to inbound to Sullivan as the Rams now trail by 2, 72-70 with 8:50 left in this game. Sullivan to Molson. Molson to Jacovitas. Back to Gates. Back to Jacovitas. Gives it to Sullivan. Over to Molson. Goes down low to Jacovitas. Gets Uga off his feet. Isn't able to capitalize as Tyson gets the rebound. Gives it to Cunningham, who's taking it up the court. It's going to go in. Absorb the contact. Put up the shot. No good. No foul called. Sullivan going the other way. Finds Gates. Gates drives in, finds. Now it's over to Jacovitas. Over to Molson. Over to Sullivan. 4-3 from the corner. And it's good. Lewis with it. He's driven looking for Capali. Gives it to Capali at the free throw line. Fakes the handoff to Tyson. Gives it to Lewis, who uses the screen from Capali. Takes the three. And that one is no good as Jacovitas gets the rebound. Sullivan taking up the court. 7:45 left in this game. Over to Jacovitas. Down to Gates. Working on Huga. Over to Molson, who's working on Cunningham. To Jacovitas for 3. And he cans it from deep, as the lead is now 4, 76-72. Lewis with it. Over to Cunningham, over to Junior. Uga uses the screen from Cunningham. And the shot does not count as the foul is on the floor. It's going to be on number 22, Mahoney. Sounds like his 4th foul. Uga will be shooting a 1-and-1. Checking in for the Bison will be number 22, O'Regan, and number 34, Morrow, as Capali and Cunningham get a break. Checking in for the Rams will be number 31, Rowe. First shot up and no good. Rebound by Jacovitas. Sullivan taking it up the court now, working on Tyson. Over to Jacovitas. Over to Hale, gets him the fake. And the foul is going to be on Morrow, but the shot's no good, so he's going to make him earn his 2 points at the line. Also checking for the Bison was number 1, Andrews. As it looks like they're giving Lewis a break. And Hale is good on the first, as the lead is up to 5 now with 7:11 left to play. And the second is also good. It's going to be Andrews taking it up. Working on Hale. Over to Morrow. Back to Andrews. Uses the screen from Morrow. Driving in. And they're going to call a travel on Andrews. And it's going to be number 10. Lasalandra checking in for the Bison as Rondell Tyson gets a break. Jacovitas with it, working on Uga. Over to Hale. Over to Molson, over to Sullivan. And the pass is stolen. Uga running with it. Driving in. Weird little floater, but it's good. As Uga took it the whole way. Sullivan with it now. As the bench for the Bison is getting loud. Hale with it, working on Andrews. Goes up and no good, but foul call as he'll be going to the line for 2.
Nichols foul on number 1, Bryson Andrews, his 3rd, team 4. Nate Hale to the line, shooting 2.
And his first is good. His second's also good as the score is now 80-74 Rams with 6:15 left in this game. Andrews with it. Gives it Lasalandra over to O'Regan. To Uga. Finds Morrow down low. He's doubled. And he goes up with it, and no good as the Rams get it, pushing it up. Molson is able to draw the foul from O'Regan.
Nichols foul on number 22, Jason O'Regan, his third, team fifth.
Looks like O'Regan has 3 fouls now. Molson to the line. First is good. And the second is no good. Rebound by Molson, gets his own shot. Hale pulls it from the corner. No good. Molson gets the rebound again, goes up, and that one is good. Andrews inbound to Lasalandra. Taking it up as the Bison now trail by 9 with 5:40 left. Hand off to Uga. Over to Matt Morrow. Gives it back to Uga. Uga going the other way. Steps back, and the pass is kicked. Ball remains with the Bison. Checking in for the Bison will be number 13, Jerome Cunningham, as number 14, Junior Uga, is going to get a break. It's going to be Andrews inbounding. And they're going to call a hold before the inbound was set. It's going to be a foul on Sullivan. Lasalandra at the line for 2. Sorry, 1-1. First one was no good. Molson with the rebound. Jakovitis gets it, gives it to Sullivan. Up 9 with 5:25 left. Hale pump fakes, takes a step in, shoots, and is good. Andrews gets the inbound. Working on Hale, gives it to Cunningham. Back to Andrews, fakes the 3, going in, and is able to finish. As it is 85-76 with 5 minutes left. Sullivan with the ball. Over to Molson, working on O'Regan. To the free throw line where Rowe is. Over to Molson for 3. He fakes it, comes in, loses the ball. Rowe gets to the free throw line. Step back, no good. Rebound, Lasalandra pushing it up the court. Over to Cunningham. Working on a smaller Jakovitis. There's a down low to Morrow. Pass deflected. Morrow gets it back at 3-point line up to Lasalandra. Working on down low to Morrow. Working on Rowe. And not able to get it to go. Jakovitis with it. Crosses the half court. Gives it to Molson. Over to Sullivan. Jakovitis with it now. Gives it to Molson. Down low to Rowe. Working on Morrow. Gives it to Hale from the corner. Good once again. As he is on fire in the second half. Hale is on fire. And they just need to keep an eye on him as he's getting these off-ball screens. He's slipping open just long enough to get a clean shot off. Morrow is getting frustrated down low. He just needs one good look to regain some confidence and cool off down there. Bison down 12, 88-76 with 4:06 left. We're going to take a break for the rest of this timeout. We'll be right back. Coming out of this timeout break for the Bison, Lewis is back on the court, and he's with Cunningham, Andrews, Morrow, and O'Regan. To this point, the leading scorer for the Bison is Morrow with 16 points. Lewis with it, driving it hard, takes some contact, not able to finish. Rebound by Rowe, handed off to Sullivan. Jacovitas taking it, dishes to Molson. Back to Jacovitas, takes it from deep, and that one's no good. Rebound. Lewis tipped it to Andrews, going the other way. Looking, Morrow wants it down low, gets it, working on Rowe. And his pass is stolen by Jacovitas, going the other way. Does a little Euro step and finishes. As it is now 90-76 with 3:20 left. Andrews uses the screen for Morrow, pops from three, and barely grazes the net as Jacovitas gets it and gives it to Sullivan. For the Rams, Hale has 31 points. As he has the ball now, working on Regan, gives it to Jacovitas. Over to Molson, who wasn't paying attention. Lewis with the steal. Going the other way, Jacovitas playing defense. And forces the miss by just being there as Lewis misses and Andrews not able to tip it in. Sullivan with it, 2:50 left. 14-point lead, over to Hale. Gives it up to Molson, over to Jacovitas. Over to Sullivan, finds a cutting. Oh, he does not find the cutting Hale wanted him, but good defense by Andrews. Sullivan working on Lewis, down low to Rowe, back to Sullivan. Coming in, kicks it out to Molson, over to Rowe. Morrow got tangled up with his own teammate and wasn't able to get back as it is now 92-76. Lewis with the ball. Over to Cunningham. To Morrow, back to Cunningham. Hand off to Lewis. Going in strong and finishes with the left. And it's going to be a full timeout taken by the Bison. Down 92-78 with 2:07 left. As we'll be back right after the break. Coming out of this timeout for the Bison, it's going to be number 5, Capali, number 20, Lewis, number 11, Cowan, number 14, Uga, number 1, Andrews on the court. As the Rams stick with the same 5 they had before, which is Jacovitas, Rowe, Sullivan, Molson, and Hale. As Molson gets it into Hale, who throws it back to Molson, back to Hale, as the Bison have the full court press on. Hale, Lewis keeping him there. And they're calling a foul on Uga as he and Molson are both going for the ball. It's going to be the 6th team foul, I believe. Jacovitas inbound. Gets it to Rowe, back to Jacovitas. Working on Andrews. Kicks it to Sullivan, over to Molson, back to Sullivan, over to Hale. Hale to Rowe. Rowe back to Molson, over to Jacovitas, who pulls the 3 in Andrews' face, and no good. Rebound Lewis. Finds Junior, Uga, and he goes up and gets the foul. So he'll be going to the line with 1:35 left, down 14. It's going to be a foul on number 25, Jacovitas. It's going to be his 4th. And the first is good. It's going to be a sub for the Bison as number 20, Lewis, will get a break, and number 12, Tyson, checks in. Ugo will make the second. And the full court press is back as Jakovic is kind of left open, and Hale is wide open, but he's trapped. Throws it away. Kapali with the steal. Throws it over to Tyson. To Andrews, going to pop the three. And it rims out. Molson gets it going the other way. Over to Sullivan. Sullivan just throws it across. Jakovic gets it. Gets by Cowan. No, he doesn't. Pulls back. Finds Hale open for three. Pulls it. And he makes another. As it is 95-80 with a minute left. Ugo with the ball. Trying to work something on Jakovic. Gives it to Cowan. Gives it to Andrews, who goes in. And he is fouled by Molson.
Suffolk foul number 32, Brendan Molson. This is fourth.
That's going to be
Bryson Andrews at the line, shooting two.
Andrews makes the first. Is checking in for the rims with number 12, Gates. And it looks like we have number 10, Lasalandra, checking in for Andrews after this free throw. It's going to be short. Jakovic with it, guarded by Cohen.
Nichols foul number 11, Jack Cowan. His third.
And Cowan intentionally fouls Jakovic. There was some mixed communication between the coaches and Cowan. But this allows Lasalandra to check in for Andrews. Jakovic is going to be at the line with 48.7 left in this game. The first is going to be good. It'll be good on the second. 97-81, the Rams ahead. 45 seconds left as Uga gets the handoff from Tyson. He's going to pull up from three, and he's going to make it with the hand in his face. 97-84. Cowan on Sullivan, pass to Hale is handled. He's going to find Jakovic. He's going to find Sullivan as they're going to let the clock drain a little bit more. As the shot clock and game clock are separated by 10 seconds. Sullivan guarded by Tyson. And he's going to use the screen from Hale. Hale wide open. And he's going to fake the pass and shoot the three. No good as Lasalandra did get a hand up in the face as Uga's going the other way. He's going to go the whole way. And layups block. Jakovic with the rebound. 5 seconds left. They're going to let the clock drain. The final score of this game is going to be 97-84. Rams win.